The DTRP stadium in Guwahati is absolutely empty. Games have all been completed except for one. Reigning National Women's Champion Divya Deshmukh, rated 2300 plus, is fighting against Darsh Shetty, who is 1336 rated. And can you believe it? Divya has 2 pawns less in the position and she's totally losing. She went on to lose this game. How did this happen? Let's have a look at the game. This game is an attestament to the talent that Indian chess has, because when a player of 2300 plus rating faces an opponent who is 1300 rated, it is clear that this 1000-point gap will lead the game into one direction. Most likely the 2300 player will win. However, if you look at this game, Darsh Shetty, who was playing against Divya Deshmukh, not only won this game, but he outplayed his opponent. And this is what I want to show you. Let's have a look at the game. Divya opens with 1d4 in this game. Darsh goes knight f6, bishop to g5, the Trompovsky. Now it's the first round of the tournament and Divya plays Trompovsky often, but also you feel like, okay, this is a game that if you play a little bit well, you will win. However, Darsh was very well prepared. d5, e3, he went knight bd7, defending his knight. Knight f3, e6, bishop d3, bishop e7, knight bd2, c5, c3, castles, h3, queen c7, castles, b6. If you look at black's moves, they have all been very logical. He's developed all his pieces, castled, now going to put his bishop on b7. a4 was played and the idea of Divya could be at some point to play a5. Darsh didn't think it was important, so he played bishop b7, queen e2, h6, pushing the bishop away, bishop f4, and now offering a bishop trade. So black is now ready to play e5, and if black is able to do that successfully, he would be doing well. So Divya now went bishop a6, takes, queen takes, and now you can get a little bit excited and play e5 here, which seems perfectly fine. But then after a5, white is trying to get some play here and could create pressure on b6 as well as this file. So Darsh very calmly went queen c7, which is a nice move. b4, and if c4 trying to trap the queen, then a5 hoping to open up some lines. So rook f8, again keeping calm, rook fb1, rook a b8, queen goes back, and now he plays a5. Interesting decision. Asking Divya, what do you want to do about this tension? I think Divya here did not take the best call. She could have played dc, bc, and then b5, getting a passer. Yes, after c4 the knight will come here, but it's a position filled with many possibilities and could have been interesting here. I think black is still doing pretty well after knight c5, but she went b5, and now rook e8 was played. Black could have also played e5 directly, but rook e8, c4, and now another very nice move, e5. Just the overall way in which a 1300 player has played the first 20 moves of this game is commendable. He has played in the center, just made sure that the opponent's threats are thwarted, everything done really well. Now d takes c5 was not a good move by Divya. The right way to play would have been de, knight e5, knight e5, queen e5, cd, knight d5, and knight c4. And I think in this position white is doing okay. I mean, he cannot be worse here. She cannot be worse, but Divya decided to play dc, knight takes c5, and now knight takes d5. So what has happened is that these two knights are very pesky creatures. You know, they are looking at so many squares. Queen c4, rook d8. Here also possible was to just move the queen away, which could have been stronger so that this knight can also move. But okay, rook d8, knight b3, rook c8. If rook c1 trying to put more pressure down the c file, then queen d6 and black is fine. So knight takes c5 and we reach an endgame where Divya thought, okay, let's go rook d1, put pressure down this file. If she wanted to win a pawn here, that was not possible. Knight c3, attacking the rook, also the knight. Let's say you go rook b3, then there is knight e2 check, king f1, knight c1, attacking the rook. If you go back, then there is a pretty mate. So that does not work. Also, I mean, knight c6 is a good possibility here, but after rook d2 and rook c4, a4 is falling and black is doing okay. So rook d1, rook e8 was played and e4. Now this was a little bit too ambitious. Maybe king f1 and white should be able to hold this position, but e4 allowed knight c3, rook d6 and a nice move, rook e6, offering a trade of rooks. Yes, now black has doubled pawns, but the knight is super active. Knight d2 and check here, rerouting. Basically, if you were to do anything else, let's say, I mean, you don't have many possibilities, but if you play king f7, then after king f1, white is back in the game. She will play f3 and it's not easy to break through. But the moment you go check, king f1, knight d4, what has happened is that this knight is beautifully positioned. It's not so easy, and now you can bring your king in, you can get your rook. So this rerouting of the knight from e2 to d4 was very important on this square. Divya went king h2, knight d4 anyway, rook a2, king f7, king g3, king e7, f3, king d6. The king is getting active. Now Divya also trying to bring her king, but this is the part of the game which is amazing. First rook c2. He is okay. You could have just kept the rooks here. I mean, black rook is way more active, but rook c2, take, king c5, knight d4, and now check. King moves in, king d3. And this entire phase of the game is so beautifully played by Darsh. He knows that he's not material up, but his king is more active, and that just helps him to win this game. King c2, king a2, knight e2, and now the a4 pawn falls. And again, a nice decision, because if you play king here, then you lose this pawn. So he first very prophylactically attacks the f3 pawn, not allowing knight d3 because f3 hangs. King moves back, takes f4, king e5. Now 2 pawns up, and although Divya wins 1 pawn back, this pawn cannot be stopped. Let's say you go king d3, a3, king c3, a2, king b2, a1, queen, and Divya resigned here. A phenomenal performance by Darsh, and I'll leave you with a small bit of his interview to just show you what the boy's aims are and who he works with. Also, there will be a longer interview that will be uploaded later on this channel, but this game just shows what ratings can be very, very misleading. Darsh did not play like a 1300 player. He played brilliant chess, and I wish the youngster all the best in the games to come.
So tell me about yourself. When did you start playing chess?
I started playing chess when I was 8 years old. My father and my sister used to play, so I got encouraged by that, and then I started training.
Okay, and who are you training with right now?
I'm training with Mr. Alexander Goloshchuk.
Okay, so coming to today's game, when you heard that you will be facing the national champion Divya Deshmukh, what was going on in your mind?
I actually thought that it will be a very tough game, and that's what happened. But then she gave me the advantage quite easily, and then I just kept it tight and I won.
And just wanted to know that what are your targets for this year?
I want to cross 1800 this year.
And what about titles? So what title or where do you want to achieve? Where do you want to reach?
World champion.
World champion. Okay, so you are at the right age, at the right track. We wish you all the very best. Have a great night and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.